Hi, my name is Polina Gazeva and I'm an artist living and working in Berlin. This weekend, me and my partner, Timo, we went to Museumssonntag. Museumssonntag is on every first Sunday of the month, and this is a day when you can go to almost any museum in Berlin for free. You usually still have to buy tickets in advance or register in advance, but not always and not for every museum. But basically, yeah, you can just go to any museum and enjoy it without having to pay an insane amount of money to get in. So we went to two museums, KW or KW, I don't know how to say it correctly, and the Berlinische Galerie. I want to show you the stuff that we saw, or some of the stuff that we saw, and I want to talk a little bit about art in general and also experiencing art and going to museums and all of that. So I guess let's just get going. I was actually feeling quite unsure and nervous about this video because I don't exactly have a plan. I don't have a plan at all of what I want to say, but there are some topics that I've been exploring and that I would like to share with you. And basically what I've been thinking a lot about is how I feel like I personally have been, in a sense, living in a little bit of a bubble when it comes to art. I, in a way, stopped exploring the art world the way I wish I was. I'm very settled on what kind of art I like and what kind of art I don't like, and I most of the time don't really see beyond that, and I don't really try to see beyond that. And while that is okay to have your preferences and to know what you like and what you don't like, and obviously you cannot give every piece of artwork that you encounter your whole attention all the time, I think sometimes it's important to kind of question why you have a certain opinion and whether there is maybe something in the art that you're not seeing just because you don't give it a chance to really speak to you. So basically I started listening to an art podcast purely because I feel like I don't have enough art in my life. I don't really read anything about art and I don't watch as many things as I wish I did. I don't explore it as much as I wish I was exploring it. So I decided to start listening to podcasts, and I also decided to, when I do go to exhibitions and when I do go to galleries and museums, that I spend more time with the artworks and let it speak to me before I just disregard it, which I've always been trying to do to some extent, but I think now I want to do it more consciously and I want to take longer time processing things that I see and processing the things that are presented to me, because maybe, just maybe, there's going to be something in there that I didn't notice before. So the art podcast I'm listening to, it's a bit weird because a lot of art that is mentioned there I do not actually like, or it's not really art that I cared about before. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of the artists that they mentioned are not something I find interesting. But what I do find interesting is just how excited these people are to talk about art and to talk about artists and how different the artworks that they mention are. So I do feel like it's a nice little change, and it's just good to have someone be so excited about art. And obviously I don't know if it's true, it's a podcast, it might be staged or exaggerated, but also it is so refreshing. And because they are so excited to talk about it, I also kind of just get excited about art and excited about just hearing about different people and also their views on things, and also to hear artworks mentioned that I haven't really thought about before at all. And yeah, it's just really nice to have someone being so excited, and it's nice. When we went to the museums that we went to on the weekend, I actively wanted to take my time with it, especially because the first museum we went to, the first artist was Louise Roque. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. I'm gonna write it. I really enjoyed the exhibition. And what I was thinking a lot about while being there is that, again, how little time people take to actually look at the artwork. A lot of the artworks there were video art, so short films or just short videos. So as someone who wants to make video art, I always find it fascinating to watch other people's video art. But I realized that even me, who actually wants to be doing that as well, I don't always even spend enough time to watch the whole movie, to watch the whole video. I barely ever had enough patience to see through the whole thing. And I don't think it's as much of a statement on the artwork itself as much as it's a statement on me and just, you know, people nowadays in general, where we want quick things, where we want quick videos, where we want a very clear idea in the video, but with like a very clear ending and an like question and answer, and like we want things explained. And with a lot of visual art, first of all, they're slower. Like the videos are usually slower. They don't try to grab your attention the way a lot of social media does, for example, right? It takes its time, it takes its space. So you either sit there and actually watch it and at least give it a chance by watching the whole thing, or you'll most likely just miss the whole point of it. It's very hard to understand artwork or to get anything from the artwork when you don't even look at it properly, right? So when we were in the museum this time, I wanted to look at everything, and I wanted to look at everything properly. And I do feel like I experienced it much more fully. Generally, I felt like I was more present and aware. And first of all, that's just nice. It's nice to be present. I don't think we do that enough, or at least I do that enough. I try to do that more. And a museum is a great place to practice that, because you enter this building and the whole world kind of disappears a bit, and you're just in a new environment, in a very specific new environment created for you to just be there and experience the things around you. I think that's beautiful. So when I'm in a museum, I always experience it not just as a visitor, I also experience it as an artist. And whenever I see something that's good, that I consider good, I get this slight like jealousy. Not always, actually. It's been getting much better, but my ego often does get in the way, and I'm like, can I do this? Could I do this better? How can I do this as good? Or how can I take this and like implement it in my own art? Like this is always the way I perceive things. Like I always still think about my own practice, especially when I watch video art, because I'm so fascinated with it. But I'm still also a bit unsure. So basically what I wanted to say, when I'm watching these videos, I always think, okay, how long is the artist taking to actually say something? How much space are they letting themselves have? How much time are they letting themselves have? I love watching video art that does not hurry, that does things on its own pace, that on one hand, that maybe doesn't care about the viewer as much. But then the question is, I guess with the video art, you do care about the viewer more than you do with paintings. At least that's how it feels to me. Like video art is still a way to maybe more directly say something, or I don't know. I perceive video art differently than I perceive just paintings, for example, or sculptures. Like with paintings and sculptures, it's this immediate effect, like it clicks, you know? Or there's something that like captures you, and then you stay longer, and it like gets more and more and more, and you get more into it, right? With video art, I don't feel quite the same. It's usually you need to watch the whole thing and then maybe something will come out of it. Like, it's not this immediate, like, oh my God, I love it, right? Like, it's a different thing. It's a different kind of art and almost feels like it's for a different purpose than a painting is. I've really enjoyed works by this artist, Louise Roque. God, I hope I'm saying it correctly. I enjoyed some things more than the others. I really enjoyed his more abstract piece where there was like a figure in like dressed in leather with techno beat playing and a sculpture, and it's an interesting, almost like installation performance and video together. And then I also enjoyed some of the short films that he made. I thought they were very, very fascinating and interesting. But then there was some stuff that I didn't quite get, or there was some stuff that didn't capture me as much. And as much as I tried to give my full attention to the works, at some point I also found myself being tired. Because going to museum is not just an easy, casual, fun thing. If you actually want to experience it fully, and if you actually want to get something from it, you have to give it something. You have to give it your attention, and you have to give it your energy. And when we were done with the first museum, I was exhausted because there was this artist and then there were two more artists, or actually three more artists. So three more artists, two more exhibitions. One of them was on 2 floors, and then on the last floor there was another exhibition, right? And it was a lot. Like, by the time we were at the second exhibition of the second artist, Pierre Arke, I was getting a bit of like, okay, honestly, I do feel like the first one will have been enough, but since we're here, of course I want to see more. Of course I want to see what else is there. But at this point I already found it hard to actually read the text, to actually get myself involved and to truly experience it. But here I was still very curious, and I still found some of the works very interesting and inspiring, and I was thinking how a lot of art is just a way to, communicate the hell is going on, It's just a way to communicate a theme, a problem, and to get a glimpse into other people's lives and experiences that we otherwise would have no real way to experience. And I think that's quite important and quite good. Yeah. And then by the time we were on the last floor of the museum, I was more or less done. I read the text a little bit, I looked at the works, but they didn't catch me as much. And part of me wonders if that's because I was already so tired from all the other art that I saw, or if it is because the art just did not speak to me as strongly as the other ones did. But yeah, when we left the museum, we sat down in the cafe by the museum, which was a really, really cute cafe. And I had a matcha, and I was tired, like I almost had a headache. I felt drained. I did not feel bad, I did not feel sad or anything like that, but I was drained. And it was honestly an interesting feeling, because that has never happened to me quite this strongly before. And I wonder if it is because I expended myself so much, like trying to really fully experience the experience that I was presented with, and it was really nice. We just sat there and we talked a bit about the exhibition, and I drew, my partner Timo read a book, and I had the matcha, and it was so wholesome and so good and so nice to also just relax and like not think for a second. I was hoping they will let me keep going.
Okay, go again.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But yeah, we both enjoyed the exhibitions. With the first one, we also both felt a little bit like, while it's a really good exhibition with interesting artworks, it was also nothing too new, nothing groundbreaking for us personally. And here I also wonder if it is because we consume so much and we see so much, or if it's if it's just the way it is. I was also thinking, actually, while like a lot of the topics in the first exhibition were about gender and identity and sexuality, and a part of me is like, yeah, but I've seen so much of it already. Like nowadays it's a very common topic and it's a very good topic to have, but like I've seen it. Nothing too new. But then a part of me is like, yeah, but also nowadays with how shitty things are getting in the world, it's again becoming good and nice to see these topics brought up in public spaces. Like I'm again getting the appreciation for these topics when they're discussed. And I'm again thinking, thanks God that this is happening and that people talk about it and that people make art about it, because God knows what's going to be happening soon in the world. And we again might not have it at some point, but I mean, hopefully not, but like, yeah. So I think like a part of me stopped appreciating it as much because I see it everywhere. But now I'm like, thanks God it's still getting discussed. I think it's still important to continue discussing it no matter how much we discuss it, because there are still so many people who haven't experienced it, who don't know enough about it, who haven't really come across these themes themselves. So it's good to continue talking about it, continue discussing, continue presenting it. Also, what was actually interesting about the Cave Museum is that a friend of ours actually went to this museum recently and he did not like it. We did not discuss with him why he didn't like it, because back then we also haven't gone there, so I didn't know what the exhibitions were or anything. He just said he didn't like it, like he didn't enjoy it. And the thing is, I understand why a lot of people don't enjoy a lot of art museums and don't enjoy a lot of modern art. And it is because it takes time and effort to actually understand it. Like a lot of art takes effort. With these exhibitions, with the video installations, with video artworks, especially, you have to sit there and you have to watch the thing. And a lot of people don't even do that. They don't even watch the whole thing. And if you're kind of in a rush and you just want to like get through it, like you're not gonna get it, you're not gonna fully experience it, you're not gonna let the art talk to you, and then the experience is gonna be lost, the experience is not gonna be there. And in no way do I mean it as a bad comment on people who go to art museums and then say they didn't like the artworks. I think it's more a commentary on just society nowadays, where first of all we're always in a rush. We hardly give ourselves the space and time to be present and to just sit there and watch something. And also because we don't really know how to go to museums. We haven't really been taught how to go to museums. We haven't really been taught how to look at art or how to appreciate art. And with the amount of media, with the amount of stuff we're constantly getting through our phones and through the internet, with the amount of movies we watch, it's hard to suddenly just, sit down and watch something. Does not give you this immediate gratification. So yeah, I think it's just interesting, and seeing that I again just want to be more present myself, and I just myself want to see more things and watch more things and read more things about art, and maybe let art that I usually do not like still have a chance to talk to me, If you know any good art podcasts, you can write in the comments and let me know. I would really enjoy that. I would enjoy some good suggestions because I frankly don't know anything. I would like to know like something. I think that would be great. Okay, can you spin it? Careful. One more. Wait, dude! Not so fast. Timo, that's too fast.
It's not.
It's so warm and I'm sweating. My feet are dirty. But don't look at them. Oh my god. And yeah, and afterwards even though we were tired, we already had tickets booked for the Berlinische Galerie, so we still went there. And with the Berlinische Galerie, I have very mixed feelings because I've been there a couple of times, and sometimes they have something good, but sometimes I really don't like it. Like I'm really not interested. And this time, I actually really enjoyed the exhibition that they had. It was an exhibition of, let me check, because I don't remember names. That's something I'm kind of not embarrassed about, but I find it very, very hard to remember names of the artists, remember the names of the artworks. And I think with like getting more involved in art and again listening to more things and reading more about art, I hope to retain just like some basic information. Hopefully, well, anyway, they had an exhibition by an artist called Özlem Altin. Özlem Altin, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I loved her paintings. First of all, I loved the room because it had like big red plastic things hanging down. So the first part of the room is like has this like red tint to it. That was really interesting together with the photographs. But then the paintings, I really enjoyed the paintings. But I think the reason why I enjoyed the paintings so much because they somehow reminded me of my art, even though it's very different. I know it's different, but some of it still remind me of my art a lot. And they felt like dreams. They felt like a really good portraits of dreams somehow. Like they were figurative in a way where you could kind of still see objects and landscapes, but then it kind of made sense, but also it did not make sense. And objects kind of flow into each other, and you see figures, but you're also not sure if they're figures. And then there are these like fragments of other things, the way you in a dream have fragments of like your past, and like it felt very good. It felt very wholesome. I really enjoyed the works. They were also big scale, which I love. I love working big scale myself, so when I see big painting, I'm like, good. And apparently she won some kind of prize, right? It's like like she won the Hannah Höch Förderpreis 2024. I'm very happy when I see an artwork that's not just beautiful, but that seems also very deep and is also a bit disturbing in some ways and is also unclear, actually win things and like, get acknowledged. It makes me feel good because I'm like, yes, okay, weird art can also get acknowledged. Weird art might also get like a chance at something, Yeah, I just really loved it. I really enjoyed it. They spoke to me immediately like this. And then the more I looked at them, the more stuff I saw, which I didn't realize that was there before, and I just truly enjoyed it. The rest of the gallery I found okay. Like upstairs they have a permanent exhibition that's fine. I think there's like one painting that I like. We didn't even do 10,000 steps yet.
Really?
Yeah. Only 9. And the rest is, I don't know. And then they also had like a photo exhibition and an architecture exhibition, which I found, I don't know, not really my thing. But yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. I enjoyed going to museums, and I think the Museumssonntag thing in Berlin is great. And I like not knowing where I'm going. Like I did kind of check if they have anything like going on in the exhibitions that we went to, but I didn't really know what I'm signing up for. I like, getting surprised, and that was great surprises, and I really enjoyed it. I guess what I'm doing now is trying to just be more conscious about art, consume art more consciously, give art more time and space, because if that's what I want people to do when looking at my art, it's only fair to give it back, I suppose so. I don't know. I would also just like to know more. And I think just being more present is great. So yeah, that's what's happening. Let me know in the comments What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite museum in Berlin, maybe that I can check out next time. And let me know if you know any good art podcasts, or maybe you know a really good book on art as well. You can let me know. I would love to hear from you. And I will see you in the next video. Okay. Okay, that's it. You can also support me with money if you want. Yeah, I don't know. That's it.